your profession, your family activity, all the routine put together a part of your yoga practice. Unless you do this, there is no use of yoga practice at all. Unless you make a total surrender of what all you have to the Lord, your time is a sheer waste if you practice yoga for 1 hour or half an hour. So, when you do this in such a way, the last 4 steps, that is contemplation, meditation, and attainment, along with the previous few states, they occur gradually simultaneously. And especially the 3 last states, 6th, 7th and 8th, that is contemplation, meditation and attainment, they 3 begin to exist simultaneously with you. Then your consciousness is called a simultaneous consciousness, that is simultaneous existence of consciousness in all the planes of your existence. That is what is called samyama by Patanjali. The definition is, when the 3 states exist simultaneously, it is called samyama. Then the goal of our life is achieved, because it is this experience that we call life. Life is to test this experience, and here ends the practice of yoga. Then there is the goal of yoga, that is yoga living. Yoga practice is not at all a goal. According to Patanjali, yoga practice is not at all the final aim of yoga. Yoga practice is for yoga living. Now he prescribes us how to live with yoga. Apply these states to whatever work you do. Let it be in your office or in your house. Let it be in a railway train or an aeroplane. It is only the Lord who exists, and in Him everything exists. And you can walk on the streets where there is a big rush and traffic without any accident being committed. But at the same time, you are seeing only the Lord and not the motor cars and the traffic. When you are talking to anyone, you are talking to the Lord. When others are talking to you, they think that they are talking to you, but you will receive your own message through their talk. Let it be a boy or a grown-up man. Let it be an educated man or a fool. He is not a fool to you, he may be a fool to others. Whatever he speak may be having his own meaning, but whatever you receive is your own program received from the Lord. Every hour, every minute, you are receiving programs directly from the Lord. He decides where you have to go, whom you have to meet, and what you have to do in the name of the Lord. This is the first application in yoga life. The second application is called transmutation. That is, every one of us are born with some congenital defects. They may be mental or intellectual or emotional, or some diseased conditions inherited from parents, or diseased conditions acquired by ourselves. Through this process of living, you will transmute yourself, and all the congenital defects, especially psychological, emotional, cultural, intellectual and educational, will be removed and you will be the foremost in everything. You will be elevated into the best of your mettle. This is what is called a total healing by the Lord. This is another aspect of yoga living. A third aspect is working through many bodies. You can work through many physical bodies existing at different places at the same time for the benefit of humanity. It is not a miracle. It is not a miracle, but you will do it. How? You can make the same transformation to anyone who is with you. Just as a powerful magnet can give its touch to a piece of iron. As long as other people are in your presence, they work for the humanity. They also work like perfect yogis, because mentally they have no existence of their own as long as they are in your presence. And you can do it permanently also to some people who are your followers and make a total transformation permanently. Just as one magnet can produce 1,000 magnets, when once you are a full-fledged yogi of the Patanjali's path, you can produce as many yogis as it is permitted by the Lord. But don't do this without taking the acceptance of the other person, because morally we are permitted to intrude into the personal life of anyone. You will have people chosen not by you but by the Lord. They will make a total surrender of themselves to you, so that they have no personal life and private life except yourself. Since you too have no personal life, you have no motives to tackle them. When you do not want anything for yourself, when they make a total surrender to you, it is not a surrender to you, but it is a surrender to the Lord. Only with those persons you make a total transformation. Make them yogis like yourself, and your presence helps them and hastens the process. And thus you can work through 100 bodies or 1,000 bodies simultaneously working. If you are to type something for the benefit of humanity, you can do it in the form of 100 typists. Like that, any piece of work that is useful for humanity, you can do it in many bodies. And this is the next step prescribed by Patanjali about yoga living. And further, you can supplement Bhagavad Gita also and the scriptures. In that, if you are a yogi, you can make your husband or wife a yogi. You can make your children yogis. Therefore, it is a must for a yogi to get married and beget children after he has become a yogi. That is the injunction of the Bhagavad Gita. This is the next step you have to do. And finally, there is one step, that is, you choose some great work you have to do for the mankind. You can become a big guru by not calling yourself a guru and by not accepting anything for yourself. If you have something with you, you will use for humanity. if someone brings $1,000 to you, you will use the same thing for humanity. Until you come to that stage, you cannot choose a big work for yourself. For example, you can make a big ashram where you can create yogis, or you can go into the radio and television and organize schools where people are systematically trained. You can go into the government and make necessary changes in your administration. You can go into the educational department and make your own reforms in education. Any branch you take up, you will make great work. That is one alternative, and there is another alternative. Two alternatives branch off and you are expected to choose either. The second alternative is to allow the Lord to choose for what you are born. He will decide every moment what you have to do, where you have to do, in what direction you have to proceed. That is, giving yourself up totally to the Lord consciousness. You can select, you can choose either of the alternatives. The first is you make your own grand program for the universe. The second is you allow the Lord to do something through you. In the first case, if you choose the first alternative, you will be held responsible for your actions, and you will have the burden of any faults you commit. And sometimes you may be once again out of the consciousness of a yogi by your own faults, so that you may follow the same path of yoga practice after some time. But if you choose the second alternative, the whole responsibility lies with the Lord. There is no mistake that you can commit. There is no mischief that you can do. There is no wrong choice you will do. Every moment of your life is only the light of Lord. And if you choose the second alternative, a great presentation is done to you. That is what Patanjali calls the overclouding. Clouding, that is covering. You will be covered. You will be covered. You will be clouded. Something clouds you and conceals you. What is that? It is called the law, the universal law. That is, you will stop doing anything and the law acts through you. The law speaks through you. The law teaches and preaches through you. This is what Jesus calls the garb. The garb, the coat given by God to man, the cover, yes, the garb, and what he calls the cover under which you have to meditate the Lord. We see some people having a cloth on the head to meditate the Lord. It is not the cloth, but it is the presence of the Lord as a cloud upon us. That is what he means when he says, "My Father in heaven speaks through me." This is the last and final step of yoga living. This is the aim, this is the goal, and this is the purpose of yoga, according to Patanjali. In short, this is the syllabus of Patanjali's yoga practice. And I am very happy in the midst of the Lord in the form of all of you. And I thank the Lord once again in the form of all of you for giving this opportunity this evening to me. No, Patanjali has his own level and we should not impose our levels upon him. Myself,
Yes.
that is for the Lord to decide, not for me. Because it is the headache of the Lord, not my headache.
This off time for the hair for night.
An estimate, if we begin to make an estimate of the progress we have made, both Patanjali and the Lord will leave us independent to decide our own levels.